Hello everyone, welcome to my video. I'm gonna do a knife collection walkthrough. Um, Regrettably, I cannot be doing this when the collection is complete, as I cannot financially manage to complete it, and I've decided to sell about half of it to make sure I am okay. I have spent pretty much exclusively the past 9 months, maybe a little more, dedicated to kind of crafting and cultivating this collection, the concept behind it, the aesthetic, the this rigid system that I came up with to make it the best I could, to customize the knives themselves, to search them out, to hunt them down, trial and error. I've owned about 100 knives besides these ones that I just didn't keep. They weren't right, they didn't fit. And yeah, after all of this, I still am sadly not able to finish and not able to show you the entire collection, but I wanted to do a walkthrough anyways of what it would be and what it is currently. We're gonna start at the bottom, which is this funny little thing. This is the Best Tech ball lock, is what it says if you look for it on different sites. Damascus with some Timascus or maybe Mokutai accents. And yeah, just a funny little flippable slip joint on bearings. So yeah, a pretty wild thing. This would be the pair. So all of my knives have a pair with them. And the one that was going to pair with this one is the SRM, like multi-tool or something like that. It's basically a two-handed slip joint with that the entire scales or the entire handle is Timascus and the blade is Damascus. Just this extravagant, dumb little thing that would pair well quite with this, and it would be 10 millimeters shorter, so just 1 centimeter shorter than this even. So just this dumb little stupid thing. So as we walk through the collection, you'll probably pick up that everything is connected by aesthetic, and most of the time there's two pairs of everything, and the pairs are either a colored one and a non-colored one. That's kind of the general rule there, and then there's some more strict rules that I could not break in any capacity. So the one up from here is the Kavaldenka, and I own it, but it's not in my possession currently, so I cannot walk through with that one. But it's also got some Timascus accents, and it's just a cool blade, cool knife, cool little thing. That one is about 150 millimeters overall, and it pairs with this one. This one is the Berg Blades Mini Barber, and I actually did a hardware swap on this one. It usually comes in full black with Timascus, or like a full satin with a stonewash handle. And did I just say Timascus? God, I meant micarta, of course. So I switched, I switched the blade and all the screws from the version, and I like it a lot. I'm actually surprised how much I like it. Very, very comfortable, very sturdy feeling. Just good weight, good balance. I don't know, I just really like it. It's kind of stupid, but I love it a lot. And this one would be paired with the Denka, which goes right here, and those two kind of blend well because this has color, and they're both some obscure blade shape. And this also phases really well into the next one. So everything has a pair, but if you look at it as a collective, they all kind of just like transition into the next one, So this is the next one, and this is a Vero Synapse Mini that I bought some of the black and white G10 scales that Vero sells for it. Love this thing, pretty sweet. The action is a little worse than I expected for the price point, and I don't know if I just didn't tune it well. I did disassemble it. I've done that quite a lot, and add some lube or some grease or whatever, clean the whole thing. Super cool knife. I honestly wish that they put the little reverse flicking fuller in there on both sides, because like you can't reverse flick downward, which I know is not a practical thing, but I like doing it. So yeah, I will not be keeping this one. So far, everything I've shown you, I will be keeping, at least for now. But yeah, so this one pairs with the JHO number 18, and that was just released as of the time of filming this video, so that's going to go right here. I'm fairly set on keeping it. I got the darker version, not the nude version, and yeah, I don't know, I think it'll be beautiful. I'm excited for it, and I think I'm gonna love it. What goes here is a Chris Reeve Sebenza. So small Sebenza goes here. I got the Tonto version because it is 174 millimeters. And it pairs with this, the Rockstead Hizen. And this is the DLC version. Just the craziest thing ever, honestly. I will be keeping this, and yeah, just magnificent little knife. Really, spectacular. I got a great price on it, and I don't know, it just feels kind of timeless. When I first got into knife collecting, I watched a person's video of their collection, and they said that you really need a Chris Reeves knife, or maybe it was Chris Reeves knives and or a Rockstead to justify your collection. And I wanted to fight that for so long. I was like, nah, forget it. But once I did handle each one, I was like, all right, I get it. That's a extravagant piece of machining, I suppose. All right, so far we've had the Beztek, and this is at 117 millimeters. That pairs with the one that I'll probably never own, the SRM at 107 millimeters. Followed by the Denka and the Vero, which are at 150 millimeters, and, the Denka pairs with this 150 millimeters with 162. So the bottom is kind of obscure, a little more far-fetched measurements, transitionally speaking. But as it moves up from there, you can see it gets a lot more strict. So as I said, this is 162. This is 168. And then from there, moving onward, 168, 172, 174, 177. This one is 180. And these two are pairs together. This one is the Wingman EDC Ferris, and this is in the brass version, and it's kind of dumb looking in the photos, but I actually hope it comes across on the camera. I freaking love this thing. It's a kickstop by Lee Williams. It's the mechanism where instead of having a flipper tab, it actually disassembles once you pull it down and goes into the handle. So there's no flipper tab on the front. Just crazy lines, crazy grinds, integral, just super, super sick knife. And it pairs with this one. You can see why. They look perfect together. This one is the, what is it? Terrain 365? Yeah, I was gonna say it backwards. Terrain 365 Mako. And I actually modified this. The flipper tab was way too long, and then this was way too long as a result. So I shaved it both down, and I think that makes it, it still kind of stands out, to be honest. But super comfortable, super comfortable. And yeah, the blade is made of this thing that he invented essentially called Terravantium. Terravantium, which is, I actually completely forgot. It's not titanium, obviously. It's not steel. It's not dendritic. Oh, it's dendritic cobalt. That's right. It's dendritic cobalt, so it can't rust. Good edge retention, although it doesn't feel insanely sharp. It like stays sharp, but doesn't seem like it stays sharp. So that's 180. This is 182. Moving up from there, we've got the Kaiser Cormorant, whatever. And this is an LMAX and Nebula fat carbon fiber. Yeah, every deployment mechanism, button lock. It's a fun one, very fun. Honestly, it's kind of weird that it doesn't have any liners. That was one thing that was acquired, I suppose. I'm like, what the heck? This is a weird knife. But then, you know, in the end, I quite like it. It's very, as they say, fidgety. It's just fun. Yeah. Beautiful, really, quite a beautiful one. And how long is this? I believe this is 184. So perfectly transitioning out from here. Now, you can tell obviously that this doesn't look anything like this. There's very few design elements that are comparable. So, you know, not everything transitions perfectly into the next one, but I did start to increase that intentionality moving forward over here. And you can kind of see it with this. There's definitely some design elements here, you know, blade shape, the little hole divot, the you know, I don't know. There's some similarities, just a few. Not a lot, but just a few. On this next one, which is a 185, I believe. 185 millimeters overall. So barely longer than this, but this is the Arcane Design Praetheon. And this is the Urban EDC exclusive version with the antiquated brass inlay. Really cool. It's just cool. It just looks so cool. Surprisingly, a liner lock. Really sturdy liner lock. This is cool too. It's reverse flick because of both the fuller and the thumb stud. So however your preference is, that's pretty cool. Also, it's kind of painful, but you can front flip it. And by painful, I mean if you do it this way, it can get, it's like kind of sharp edges a little bit here. So I feel like that's intentional as far as like a design point of view, but I would say it's a bit sharp. Cool knife. And that one pairs with this one. They both kind of, you know, I don't know. They help transition to the next ones very fluidly. And the next one is the Miguron Pagos 2. And you can see that those are beginning to have more design elements in the handle. When these are closed, they look a lot better side by side. I have a big emphasis on changing up blade shape generally. So sometimes you can see these are very similar. One's a Tonto, they both have a harpoon. These are kind of similar, but sometimes either totally contrast, or they are very similar. Anyways, this is, I think, one of the best knives you can get for the money. Seriously, like, impeccable action. My friend says the blade looks like a butter knife. Excuse me. But honestly, amazing action. Amazing fit and finish. And very comfortable. It feels smooth. I have heard the nitpick that when it's open, this little spot right here is sharp. And that is true. It is a bit sharp there. And you can catch it like that. And yeah, like it can rip your skin a little bit. So I don't know, but when it's close, it's not a huge deal to me, to be honest. This is front flippable. I can't believe I got it the first time. It's hard to do, and it's even harder to do that way, but very cool knife. And yeah, sadly I'm not keeping that one either. Now this one and this one are pairs. I said this one was what, 189? 189 on the Pagos, and 191 on the Waypoint by Quiet Carry. Way thinner, dramatically thinner of a knife. But definitely some, you know, you can see the transition of design elements quite a lot more from here to here. Vanex, man. Super slicey knife. Very, very thin. I can't believe it's a liner lock somehow. It's on washers, so it's not quite drop shutty, but you know, you can get it there, I guess. This is the gnarled, whatever, version that he makes. And yeah, it's on one side, not both. I'm kind of torn, not sure if I'm keeping this one or yet not. Not yet, whatever. Pair. No, this is pretty popular right now. Pretty sought out. This is the TW Price Dawn V2. Just cool. Just really cool. Surprisingly a liner lock. Whole thing's anodized. You can swap out the pivot collar. I don't have anything to put in there, so I just got silver. But yeah, original milled clip. Whole thing's textured. Nice fuller in here, so you can thumb flick and reverse flick. Got a front flipper. You can choke up. Got the choil. The what the hell is this called? Jimping is low down, so if you do choke up, you know, there's nothing up here, which is fine. I don't care at all. People always talk about that in videos, but whatever. So yeah, great knife. Honestly, it feels lighter than it should for how thick it is. I don't know how to explain that. It's really magnificent. I'm not a 1,000,000,000% positive I'm keeping it yet, but that one goes right here and pairs with, man, this is where it gets perfectly transitioning. This pairs with the EMP EDC Ronin, which was just released as for pre-order actually, and it's got the same texturing. It's got a little bit more of a front flipper than this, but a little less of a front flipper than that. Let me pull these out. I don't know. I'm very proud of how well this works, and I want to emphasize it. So, you know, not a ton of design elements that are similar there, but compared to these, it fades well. But this to this, this to that. So the EMP, or the Ronin, has a little more of a cutout than this, less than this. A little more of a front flipper than this, but less than this. The form factor kind of transitions from a little bit of a finger groove, but not quite this so minimal. So that transfers. The whole thing is a little squarer like this, but not so much. And I just want to see them together so bad. So I'm pretty set on keeping this, that, and that for now, just to see and feel it out. But I'm really proud of the way that transitions. And then moving on as well up to here, and how that moves on, we'll point out. But the next one after the Ronin is this little piece here, which is a bit obscure. It's called the Do Design D4 or D2, is it? D4? Yeah. And I believe that the blades are production. They're like production blades, maybe some of the hardware, but the scales are done by hand, and it's a Duhara. It's like a semi-custom by Duhara. It's really interesting. He has this mechanism which is like a double detent. It's not a liner or a frame or anything, so it doesn't lock technically at all. It's pressured. But it's pressured enough that you can, well, I guess not. You can't throw it downward, but if you hit it on something, ouch, hard enough, it'll give. This is not the clip that it came on and not what I will be keeping on it. I have a deep carry clip coming, and I'm gonna carve out the wood a bit better, and it'll look a lot better. But yeah, love this knife. Reverse flick and front flip. Just a weird, honestly, aesthetically beautiful. One of my favorite designs. Just blade shape, functionality, ergonomics. It's a little bit too lightweight, being just wood and very thin steel liners, but whatever. Next to that, actually this goes there. Next to that is the NOC or NOC, I don't know if you say what you say, M20. Oh, it's MT20 actually. Weird Tonto, but and just a freaking straight knife. It looks kind of like a Star Wars thing. I don't really know. Pretty damn good action, honestly, for, what is this, like a $200 something knife? Not even? Yeah, just, no, yeah, like right around there. Really interesting construction too if you do a disassembly. But yeah, it's just surprisingly comfortable, cool knife, great materials, great price point. I would recommend it. I am pretty set on getting rid of it right now, but every time I hold it, I reconsider. All right, and next we have this Riot. I wanted to say how this kind of transitions. Obviously, I pointed out how these transition really well to here, but this is the best I could do here. Neither of these have a front flip, and I'm just obsessed with that. They both have a kind of circular form right here. This gets bigger, but you know, from here to here, I feel like that works pretty well, and the pair is particularly very, very nice looking together. But yeah, we'll get there in a second. This is the Riot Gents 9, number 9. It doesn't factory come like exactly like the version I have. The previous owner polished the clip and put a crazy mirror edge on the blade. This thing is crazy comfortable. I'm surprised how comfortable it is. I think it's a really, really cool knife. I heard that the action was like, you know, very glassy smooth, and you know, I got a great price, so I have no complaint whatsoever. But for Riot, being that they make so many things, I actually expected better. Like, it definitely falls. I would say it's drop shut. It's like, it's very smooth, but it's not like, it's a little more tension than I would have preferred. So this is what's next. It's like a kind of rounded to the back. It's definitely not an integral, but it's integral-ish. Integral-ish, whatever you want to say. Honestly, just cool. Just super, super cool. Beautiful. Very, very comfortable. I've had this very not long at all, and I'm not attached to it enough to keep it, but honestly, maybe I should, because I think it's pretty freaking dope. All right. That goes here. Next, we have the Apurvis Progeny V3. This thing is, you know, there's a V3 for a reason. He's addressed every little issue that has been complained about before. He added the whole back spacer, sharpened, not unsharpened, softened all the edges, got a great fit and finish on there. He does custom clips, so yeah, just super cool. And this was designed in, what's it called? He designed it with Elijah Isham, which, yeah, really cool, unique designer who passed away last year. Very sad, honestly. And yeah, you can see the elements of Isham in here. He always has a sort of big swoop back, skinny handle, just kind of reverse knife, if you will. Like kind of many knife profiles would go more for that. He goes for that. But yeah, honestly, this took a little while to break in, but it's very nice now. I love the detent. Maybe a little bit hard still to open, but closing's great. If you flip it, not an issue at all. This is the green micarta version. I love it. Really super cool knife. One of my first, like, oh, who is this custom private designer on Instagram? He makes his own knives? Cool, let's figure that out. That's my first one I did of that. Next we have, but it's currently being customized. I did a blade swap on a Brian Brown Raptor V2, and there's the DLT version with like a brass carbon fiber inlay, and then there's the REC version, which is just like a brass anodization. REC has a black blade, DLT has a satin blade. Swap the blades. Then I'm getting the REC version, which now has a satin blade with a DLT coating on the handle. I think it's gonna look so freaking sick. So that's what goes here. This one hasn't come out yet, and I probably obviously will never now get it, but it was going to be the Reich Baidi, B-A-I-D-I. And they have two versions. There's a DLC version, and then there's a, you know, kind of stonewashed with satin blade, and it has this cool inlay. It's like a orange G10. I don't know if it's bifat carbon because I've never seen the pattern before. It's just a cool freaking knife. And yeah, if you look at, I have photos, but if you look at the Brian Brown, it has the same sort of up swoop right here, and then curve down into a very slender handle. So like it just transitions super well, super well here. I wish I could really show that. Now this one I did a blade swap, a hardware swap on, and this is the Sharp Eye Design Mini Tempest. I switched out the clip and the blade and the lock bar and the pivot screw with a different one. One of a kind, really. I love it. When I first used this, I was like, how is that action like that? It feels magnetic. I love it. Never getting rid of this. Absolutely love this knife. Love the front flipper. It's not designed to be, but you can reverse flick it, and that makes me incredibly happy. Sorry if this entire video hasn't been like well enough framed. I'm kind of improvising, and I haven't done this, and I'm just doing it for sentimental reasons before I get rid of most of this stuff. The infamous James Brand. The James Brand, the Barnes, the knife. Honestly, I know that they get a lot of slack. I know that people say they're overpriced. I know that people are mad about that. They have a pretentiousness about them. But this thing is freaking awesome. It is the iPhone of the knife world. I mean, literally, this looks like you could charge it. Like, what the hell? Super sweet, integral knife. Really well made. I believe it's by Riot. They kind of keep it hush-hush, but that's what I've heard around. This is the plain tie version with, you know, whatever color you want to call this. Lemon lime. Amazing. Just amazing knife. Just feels so good. Feels so solid. Great action. I mean, look at this texturing. It's actually like useful and does something, and it's pretty. Yeah. I paid, I think, $275 less than retail, and honestly, I would not buy this if I paid close to retail. I don't think it's worth that much. It's a remarkable piece nonetheless. And another little hesitation I had, I was kind of, these are pairs. This looks better more with the body, and this looks better more with this. Although this also looks good with this. So they all kind of, they're not really pairs, they're just perfectly transitional. But this kind of screwed up. Like the top of this and that look a lot more similar than this. Like this has no design elements. These look good open together, but other than that, they don't really look alike at all. You know, like that looks nice, but like there's not a lot of design lines that are similar in any capacity. So, you know, whatever. I figured it would blend a lot better when this one finally was released. This is gonna be the Forever Steel Cybertrix. I'm gonna get the Blade C, which is the one that is new. They're developing new on the re-release, and I'm just excited. I'm so excited that I'm probably still gonna buy it, and I'm gonna keep it among all these other ones I'm getting rid of. Just to catch us up real quick, I wanted to do the numbers thing. I said this is 189 millimeters. This is 191. This is 193. This is 193. This is 193. This is 194. This is 194. This is 194. This is 196. This would be 197. This is 198. This is 199. This is 200. So boop, 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 boop. Just perfect up to there. So yeah, this is gonna be the Cybertrix knife. Next we have, you know, a classic, man. What are you gonna do? A Benchmade Mini Crooked River. I got black liners, black bolster, blue backspacer, black short deep carry clip, and a blue pivot collar, upgraded steel as well. And I had never really owned a Benchmade before, and I hate it. I'm sorry. It's not that I hate it. My friend owns the 940 Osborne, and his action on his is great from the factory, but I have tried so hard to get this broken in, and I know that I don't really carry my knives obviously that much, but just flipping it, it's so hard to, it's just hard. I don't care how beautiful it is, I don't care how comfortable it is. When you buy a factory custom for $360 or whatever, it should be better than that. So I'm not keeping that. 201 millimeters. These two look really good together, and I think these two look really good together. This is kind of whatever, but then onward looks really, really great. Kind of changes a little bit up here. There's less transitional. This pisses me off, but not because of the knife. Love this knife. Classic Spyderco Smock. Love it. Who doesn't? I mean, seriously, who doesn't? I ordered custom carbon fiber scales for this 6 months ago from this guy customizing them in Australia, and still haven't arrived. And I think that would have changed the aesthetic quite a bit. Actually, hold on. That should not. That goes here. I switched the order because they're exactly the same length. 201, 202, 202. These are pairs for the most obvious reason ever. Blade shape. 3 holes. Length. I don't know. It's just freaking perfect together. Non-traditional opening. I love them. I am keeping these. I love them. Love, 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 love. Being that we kind of switcherooed that right there. This is the Wii knives. Wii and Snex collaboration. Vision R. Yeah, I got the all black version. Just cool. I don't know. I just love it. People don't like it. Maybe because of the clip. Because this is a little hurts your finger. But I don't know. I have no complaints. I think it's the coolest Batman gadget tool ever. Yeah. We're very near the end, guys. Long ass video. This is my first knife I spent $200 on. Artisan Cutlery. Serious. And I got the scales anodized. A sort of antique brass gold. And yeah, left the hardware as it is. And I think that's pretty cool looking. I am shocked for this being my first $200 knife, how other knives in the increasing price range have not impressed me that much because of how good this action is. This is a little hard to access, the lock bar, I admit that. I've got small fingers, but the action, like, seriously, it's better than this. It's better than that. It's better than this. It's better than this. It's better than this. It's honestly better than that, but that's a different feeling, so it's not that comparable. Have I compared these? This feels like through. The action feels all the way through. I don't know how to explain it. This one feels like up and over. It feels like once you get it, then it's carrying you. This one feels just like consistent all the way through. Anyways, lovely knife. I'm pretty set on keeping it. I just think I've looked at these three long enough together that they're gonna stay together, and then I'll switch the order because this is gonna be reddish. Next, the only way I could figure out how to transition from here to here is this knife. This is difficult because this is 202, this is 202, this is 204, and it's very, very hard to find a knife in between 210 and 204. Really difficult, millimeters overall. And so the best thing I could do, I'm like, it needs to be reverse flick to transition here. It needs to have a little bit of curvature, but not quite so much. And I think I did it. I think these transfer incredibly well to each other. A little bit of a front flipper tab still. Well, not a little bit. Definitively a front flipper tab, but, you know, yeah. This is the Booze Blade Smoke V2. Very, very light, very slim knife. Very cheap knife. Honestly, it's the cheapest knife I own, but still milled, carbon fiber. I love it. I really like it. I think it's cool. I think it's super slick, but I don't know. Doesn't mean that much to me. Haven't owned it that long. I would honestly recommend one of these, but people don't like them because they're so skinny. And honestly, most of my knives are very, very slim compared to most, so I can understand if, yeah, it's not your thing. But I think it's a great knife. I might even keep it. Yeah. Next, we have a Spanish knife, but production by Riot. This is the Navajas Barbudo Balmes. It's designed by Miguel Barbudo for somebody named Balmes. I read the history and then I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. But I guess he's like a ancient or historical figure that did something important in Spain. And if I butchered that and am insulting, I'm sorry. I love this thing. It's thicker than any knife I've ever owned. But I really wanted something with Toxic Storm fat carbon fiber. And what a crazy freaking blade shape that is. I mean, it's comfortable. It's so cool. I have no complaints about this, and I got a good price on it. The only complaint I have, actually, forgive me, is the detent starts there. That's where the ball passes the lock bar, and then you can just drop shut like gold. Before then, it's stuck. It's just stuck up there. And if you push it too far past, then it just shoots down really hard. And honestly, I fear that it's gonna hit that. I just like it looks close. Anyways, super cool knife. Honestly, just the coolest knife. But that part, it bothers me a bit. Flipper, reverse flip. And last but not least, the one that would pair with that, which doesn't aesthetically pair with that at all, but this was going to be Tactile Maverick. Just about to drop. There you go. There's the whole thing. I'm about to post on Reddit and sell most of these. Do feel free to reach out if you're interested. Thanks for your time. Goodbye, knife world.